All right, the I can for today is I can multiply 4-digit by 2-digit whole numbers. And so normally you'll be given a problem written out horizontally because they want to test you so that you can figure out or know how to write it out vertically and set up your problem correctly. So 2,315, I'm going to rewrite it to set it up so I can solve it in standard form, in standard algorithm. And as you noticed, I lined up my numbers. So the ones are lined up, the tens, hundreds, and thousands. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to rewrite this 9 to be blue. I'm going to rewrite the 7 to be green so we can see where their products are coming from when we write out our problem. So 5 times 9 is 45. 1 times 9 is 9 plus 4 is 13. 3 times 9 is 27 plus 1 is 28. And then 2 times 9 is 18 plus 2 is 20. All right, so if you've done 4-digit by 1-digit whole numbers, you know that's the end of your problem. But it's not 1-digit, it's by 2-digit whole numbers. So what I do here, see the blue? I've just multiplied everything out by 2,315 times 9. Sorry, I'm covering, but it's just 9. Now I'm going to cross out my numbers up top so I don't get confused. I cap this blue marker. I'm going to move on to the tens, the 7. Before I begin to multiply 7 times 5, 7 times 1, 7 times 3, and 7 times 2, I'm going to look down the second row. I know I'm going to write my answers here, but looking at the 7, you can tell that it's lined up underneath or above the 3, and it's not all the way to the right-hand side. It's actually in the tens spot. So before I start writing out the answer here, I have to do something called hold the place value, and I like to use an X. You can use a 0 or an X. I like to use an X because then I don't get confused with my numbers or writing out a different product. I just know that, hey, I'm holding the place value, so I'm going to write an X in the ones place because look at where the 7 is. It's in the tens place. So I'm actually doing 70 times 5, which is right away going to be either in the tens place or the hundred place, depending on what you're multiplying. In this case, it's going to be in the hundred place because 70 times 5 is 350. So it's already going to go over here. But no matter what, it's always going to be in the tens place because the minimum number you can have is a 1. So you're going to write that place value holder. You can do an X or a 0. And I'm going to go ahead and start multiplying. So 7 times 5 is 35. 5. And then I like to write the numbers on top so I don't get confused. Regroup the 3. 7 times 1 is 7 plus 3 is 10. 7 times 3 is 21 plus 1 is 22. And then 7 times 2 is 14 plus the 2 is 16. So this is the reason why I use 2 different colors. The blue is the 9, the blue is the ones place, and you can see the product of just the 9 being multiplied by 2,315. The green, or the 7, is in the tens place, and you can see the product of multiplying 70 times 5 times 1 times 3 times 2. And this is your product here. Then I'm going to add these two partial products together. We have 5, 8, 8, 2, lots of 8s, 8, and 1. My total answer is 182,885. All right, let's do one more really quick. So we have 1,223 times 58. Again, the first thing they're testing you is to be able to write it out vertically, lining up the numbers. I'm going to rewrite or trace over the 8 in blue. This is my ones. I'm going to trace over the 5 in green. This is my tens, just so you can see where their answers are coming from. So 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 2 is 18. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 1 is 17. And then 8 times 1 is 8 plus 1 is 9. I'm going to cross out these, cap my blue. I'm done with the 8. I'm looking at the tens place. Remember, I have to have a place value holder. Again, I like to use the X because if you line it up, you can see that the 5 is in the tens place. You already have to start writing products in the tens place, because anything times a 10 has to be a minimum of 10, except for if it's 0, which you'd still write it in 0 because then you keep on going. So 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1 is 11. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1 is 11. And then 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6. Add them together. 4, 13, 8, 9. Regroup. My total answer is 70,934. So I hope with the colors you can see that the difference between the blue and the green, or any color you want, but understanding that the first row is the partial products of the first number, or the ones in this, the ones, like if you're multiplying by decimals would be different, but the ones, and then the second row is the tens, and if you had a third row, if you had a 4-digit by a 3-digit multiplier, you'd have a third row, and you could see that as a different color. Alright, so that's it for I can multiply 4-digit by 2-digit whole numbers.